Hello and welcome to another exciting instalment of the series I call The Clueless Drinker Hates His Fucking iPhone. Yeah, this is take two unfortunately because I keep running out of space on my phone because every time I update the bloody thing I'm losing memory and the music, I always have to end up deleting music, but I'm having connections with trouble with the connections on the phone, so it's a real temperamental bitch to try and get my music onto my phone and to charge the phone in the first place. Moral of the story is Peter needs to buy a new phone, but he keeps spending his wages on beer and wasting it essentially. But yeah, already looked at the beer, already smelt it, already gushed about it, already drank a little bit of it, and I'm a little bit annoyed because I was in a good flow. It might have ended up being a really long video, but I was in a good flow. And now I have to get back into that flow. But it's one of those beers that's easily done because, spoiler alert, it's really bloody nice. And it should be because it's a collaboration between Cloudwater and Track, brewed at Track, of course, by the bottle. And this was part of a 2-beer collaboration they did with Cloudwater. I already reviewed the other beer, which was brewed at Cloudwater, which was the New Tide and Beginnings. I believe that's what it was called. It was something along those lines. I'll put that link down below. And yeah, they released 2 beers, one brewed at Cloudwater, one brewed at Track, one a really fruit bowl, New England style, and this dubbed as a West Coast style. And yeah, I was a little bit gutted, I won't lie, that I couldn't initially find it when I got the can, because my idea was to hopefully do a bit of a live review action with my good friend Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, who had a can of the New Tides and Beginnings. Apologies if that's what it's called. It just sounds right that that's what it would be called. And my hair is absolutely terrible today. I had it on point, but because my hair's so thin, product doesn't last. So luckily, I looked good in work. But when I came home, a hot, sweaty mess, I look like I'm a 50-year-old who just won't shave his hair when he should do and be a graceful old man. So yeah, look at that for a hairline. A receding hairline, I should say. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous, but F it. Anyway, why was I talking about... I've been talking about my hair too many times in recent beer reviews. I do apologise. But yeah, I was supposed to be doing this... Well, I was hoping to do this with Craig from Kent Beer Reviews. But unfortunately, I couldn't find a bottle of this when I was initially looking for it. And I thought I'd missed out on it. And the sort of like completist in me got a little bit annoyed because it's like, well, if it's part of a 2-beer collaboration, you should really try and get both beers. But I've come to the conclusion that you're not always going to get a new release beer. There's just so many beers out there for that to never be an issue. And, I missed out on pretty much the whole Cloudwater double IPA series that they were initially doing. I think I only had version 3 and then 9. 9 was on tap at Brewdog. But it was like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm missing out on these beers, but for every beer you miss out on, there's a whole world of other beers from different breweries that you can just invest yourself into. So it's not about being like the first to, buy the new batch of like Verdant from Honest Brew, or to go to the brewery to get a, brewery exclusive sort of beer. That sort of culture's never really appealed to me in the first place. So I'm just happy to find really good beer when it's available and I can afford it. So, do you know what I mean? There's just too much going on in the world of craft beer to even worry about that. And we are living in a very, very good time to be a beer lover. So, yeah, this is a West Coast style IPA called I'm Not Like Everyone Else, clocking in at 7% ABV. Lovely artwork from Track, as usual. I love how both breweries have the distinct styles. Of course, Cloudwater now doing pretty much all of their beers in cans, except for the barrel aged stouts and brown ales that they do in the 750s, which they do in the bottles. But I love how it just works, and of course they're neighbours essentially. So if you're ever in Manchester, You know, you could just go where the railway arches are near Piccadilly, and you're going to have yourself a damn good time. But yeah, track for me, as you've probably seen by the sheer amount of reviews I've done, I've just absolutely fallen head over heels with track. I think they're doing absolutely sensational beers from all sorts of different styles, and yeah, the collaborations I've had have been really good. Whether they brewed them at their own brewery or being invited somewhere else, I just think they're doing such a wonderful job, and they're up there with the likes of Cloudwater, Verdant, Left-Handed Giant, Wylam, North Brew. There's just so many great breweries right now, and it's a wonderful time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. It really, really is. So unfortunately, I don't have a track glass. I'm not sure if they sell them. If they do, I need to buy one, and I want to get some track merch because I love brewery merch. For some reason, it's become a massive part of me. But unfortunately, because I don't have any track apparel or glassware, I thought it would only be natural to use the Cloudwater glass, which is probably my favourite glass at the moment. I love this glass so much that this is the third version that I've bought. Slightly bigger than the other ones, but I just love it. There's just something about this style of glass which I never thought I'd like. I thought, this looks a bit weird. Isn't the beer going to warm up? But when you hold it like that, which not many people drink like that anyway. But it's satisfying to grip. Do you know what I mean? And you get some really good flavours from the beers in there. So I've been using this a lot, to say the least. But of course, Cloudwater, part of this collaboration, so it makes perfect sense. Anyway, nobody cares about that sort of trash, Peter. Get on with the beer. So the beer itself, although slightly spilt over myself, it's clocking in at 7% ABV and has a best before date the 1st of December 2018. Let me just wipe that off. And as you can see by the colour, it is quite hazy. It's not at the point of the haze craze, haze for days sort of beers, but it's got that sort of like slight turbid edge as well. Nowhere near as vibrant or as hazy, of course, as the Cloudwater beer that they brewed, which was New Tides and Tidings, I think it was called, or something like that. That review will be down below. But of course, that was more of a in-your-face, fruity New England style IPA, and one of my favourite beers of the year. This still has that sort of like vibrancy and haziness that you would expect from a sort of like New England style. Although this is dubbed as a West Coast style IPA. But yeah, lovely sort of like lemon drop look to it. A little bit of like a lemon curd. It's got like lemon cough sweet look to it as well. Looks fantastic. A beer poured. Well, let's generate some head. So as you can see from the head, it's just slightly off-white, and I've managed to get about half a finger's worth. But it looks fantastic in the glass. So let's see what we get on the aroma. It's all about the citrus for me. It's citrus, citrus, citrus. Loads of lemon, a little bit of like a slightly spicy lime character. Then you've got the blood orange, the grapefruit, that sort of thing. Big stone fruit characters as well. It's got that sort of like classic IPA sort of vibe. And what is going on with my hair today? I really don't understand it. There we go. We'll just leave it like that. Look like a scruff beer. You do that well. Anyway, I need to get it cut. I know I do, so stop telling me. Even though nobody's making any references to my hair, so I don't need to worry about it. It was looking so good when I was in work. I probably said this at the start of the video. I've recorded this video twice now. Whatever. But, yeah. Loads of stone fruit, loads of citrus. A little bit of like a slight dank edge in there. Resiny oiliness as well, as you would expect. It's one of those beers where, even though you can't really smell bitter, you know from the aroma that it's going to be a really nice and bitter IPA. And it's got those West Coast vibes about it, with a little bit more of a fruity vibrancy. So it's not too far removed from a West Coast style IPA. But you don't get the impression that it's going to be a palate wrecker. But even though I've tasted it, we'll see if it will be. So cheers, guys. And it's all about that bitterness. It's all about that sharp citrusiness. A lovely citric character without it being too acidic. So you know you're not going to, at 2 o'clock in the morning, get all that acid reflux coming up when you're in, you're trying to sleep. Like some IPAs can do when you get bombarded with acid. If you'd have said that in the late 80s, early 90s, it would have meant something completely different, of course. Sticking with those Manchester vibes, but see, I could never be a comedian because I'm not fucking funny at all. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit of a peach in there as well. A lovely slight oniony, garlicky vibe as also. I need to stop saying as well, and then as well, and then as well. I need to break up the vocabulary. Maybe read a book for once. Self-deprecation's a wonderful thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's got like a little bit of oiliness in there, but it's still crisp and relatively light in body. But it's got that like little bit of girth. And the bitterness on the back end is lovely and lingering, but not too powerful. It tastes like a classic West Coast IPA with just maybe a little bit of a like highlighted fruitiness in there. But if you love your citrus fruits, you're gonna love this. Almost has that sort of like lime zest vibe about it. And it's going to sound absolutely terrible, but it sort of reminded me of that slight citrusy edge you get in something like a Corona or something. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the base beer for Corona is fucking awful, don't get me wrong, but I do like that sort of like that citrusy edge you get in there. Not when you put a wedge in the neck of the bottle, but the little spot, like the citrusness you do get in the beer itself. I like that element of it, and this has got that, but it's backed up with a wonderful hop profile, wonderful resiny, slightly sweet malt in there as well. Bitterness on the back end, not really drying, but it's lingering. It makes you want to go in there and just replenish it, coat your palate again. And yeah, it's an absolutely wonderful job by two absolutely fantastic breweries. I think out of the two, I think the beer that they brewed at Cloudwater is probably my favourite of the two. But this is just, if you're getting burnt out from these like fruit bowl, light, mango, hazy IPAs, it's great to see that two breweries who have become notable for those styles will still brew something like this, which still has that slight New England sensibility about it with its haziness. But it's just lovely, classic IPA vibes. Big hints of West Coast in there. Shout out to my West Coast brothers and sisters. We don't love them hoes. I'm too white to say stuff like that, so I'll stop doing it now. And yeah, I really, really like that. I'm going to give that one a 9 out of 10. Wonderful stuff. And even if it's a slightly older bottle, you would never tell. It's tasting really nice. It's got those like punchy notes and that big bitterness, but it's nice and mellow and like reined in, and not as in your face as the beer brewed at Cloudwater. But they've nailed it. They really have. And both breweries, they have a reputation for a reason, and both beers I could just drink time and time again. So if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on the other beer that they brewed, that link will be down below. If you tried this one, then let me know your thoughts and opinions, of course. Of course, links to both breweries and their social media in the description. If friends have reviewed either of those beers, their review is going to be included down below. Check out my Cloudwater playlist. Check out my track playlist. Track for me are just like probably my favourite brewery of 2018, even though they've been going on for a couple of years now. But every beer that their name has been attached to has just... I can't do that thing where people click. I've never been able to do that because my pale complexion. I mean, My wrist is clicking for no good reason. Yeah, I'm only 29 years old, but I should stop doing that, because if Jamie from Basement Beer Reviews is watching, that's going to become a very questionable GIF or GIF, however you want to pronounce it. It's a crazy world. Anyway, I'm waffling on, and I can't stop looking at how horrible my hair is. It's like I've been like lay against a wall, because it's just like flat. I'm just very flat, and I wish I had the volume and voluptuousness of my body on my hair, and like the thin, slim, just beanpole like texture of my hair in my body. What a crazy world that would be if what I want to see, like my alter ego, like my ideal self. I would probably fucking hate that guy. He would probably be the biggest, most unlikable douchebag. Or am I talking about myself there? I don't know. I'm sure science one day will be able to let us see what we look like in the alternate realities. I doubt it though, because that is literally science fiction. But hey, that's the world of craft beer for you. It makes you say stupid things on camera for people to see, and people from both breweries potentially watching this. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. My glasses are very dirty. I am a human mess, but that beer was bloody lovely, and I hope you'll join me next time for another beer review. Thank you guys for watching, and I shall hopefully see you later. Cheers.